Joan, Mwende. I'm the County Trade, Tourism, Investment and Industrialization Minister. We have a couple of social sites and cultural sites. First, the county government has established a cultural center just a few meters from here, across the road. We have our Embu cultural center. And then our other sites are within the sub-counties. And even though we don't look at culture and culture centers geographically, we don't look at a geographical location per se. We look at culture as flowing, as being everywhere with the people. So some of our biggest points, our strongest points, are our dramas. We have our Mofo dramas located in Runyenjes. I think it's the best men dramas in this country. We have our Mbere No in Mbere North. They're just, they're just a bomb. They're also dramas. And then we have our dancers located in different places, both men and women. My only challenge right now is that I see the young people are not integrating into culture as such. And it is a worrying thing, because if you look at who's dancing, other than Mbere No, we have a few young ladies. I find, like in the north, all the drummers are old. They are old men. And I feel like even though they've been doing such amazing work, it's not flowing, it's not, the youth are not, they just watch from the side and maybe wonder what kind of stuff is this. Down in the other side of Mbere South, we have largely women are the ones who do the dances, the cultural dances. Men in the south, they're not for culture. But the other way we're trying to preserve our culture is going back now to the Mau caves and trying to make them tourism sites and reminding the people that we had such a period during the Mau and that our people were part and parcel of the fight for freedom in this country. I want to say culture is affected so largely by the inability to transmit cultural values to the younger people. And I find this is a national problem. A lot of our young people are not able to communicate in the local languages. And this speaks volumes on what we are losing from the culture end. Many of the young people have been, I would say they are disenfranchised in a way. And my call to the citizens of Embu is that whoever is able to speak in Kiembu, in Kikamba, in Kimbere, since Embu is a multilingual county, it is good for us to start nurturing our younger people so that we do not lose out our culture and our language. Because as soon as the older generation exits, then it means there will be such a gap that our people, the grandchildren today, may never be able to speak the language. But I would like to pay tribute to Betty Kadhungu, who has come up with the movie Medicine Man, because it is in Kiembu from beginning to the end. And that is going to also cause young people to see, oh, there's value after all. Previously, it wasn't possible to get young people on board in many activities, many initiatives, because they are not able to speak, to communicate in Kiembu. Embu County has not been left out in marketing local tourism. We, as a department, have been very keen to get the locals back to tourism. I'd like to say, for a long time, people thought of tourism as the people from the West, as people from distant lands. But our vision is to get everybody to recognize self as a key entry into tourism. And I'm looking at issues of for instance, we've been talking about culture. Culture is the way of the people that the tourists from outside will find on the ground. So getting that culture to every person, to every other person, understanding the culture so that when the visitor comes, you're able to take them through, to tell them how we deal with this. I know there's culture, naming ceremonies, all these things. But we're looking at encouraging people to tour places. One of our very big tourism sites is our National Game Reserve at Mwende, and which, as a department, we realize that even the people within the village have never been inside the park. Local tourism, I think, is what we have been left with after COVID struck. Remember, for a number of months now, we have not been able to get guests from outside countries. Flights were cancelled. I remember this period when we've had lockdown, and so you couldn't move from one county to another. So there has been such huge impact of COVID on tourism. And this is what brought us back to begin thinking we need to focus on local tourism. And so for us as Embu County, we have started putting our more efforts on getting the communities to understand the meaning of tourism, the value of tourism, and how as individuals they should interact with tourism and how beneficial it is to them. Remember, at every point, people as human beings, they'll ask, what do I have to do with it? What do I have to benefit from it? So we are also doing community education, community mobilization, getting the communities to know what it is in tourism for them, how they can contribute to making tourism better in the county, and what it is that they need to guard against. And here I'm talking about issues of security. Our county security team has been very, very good and very forthright with security issues, and so we, from the County Commissioner's Office, and I want to thank Mr. Galgalo, our County Commissioner, because he keeps saying we must make sure our security is top-notch. Because if you know there's a security issue in a place, you will not visit. Even as a local, if there's a security issue in another village, you will not visit. And so we are telling our people they can benefit a lot from tourism, and they can create tourism themselves. One of our focal areas is building of community parks. We are now coming up with a strategy to encourage every village, every community, to do their little forests and build small community parks. And what that does is that it has the potential to give that particular community regular, consistent income throughout the year. Imagine having 1,000 people visiting a community park. They definitely will bring in more than one tourist or a few tourists coming from distant lands. And so that, apart from that, we are also getting our community members to agree or to understand that as a county, we have so many beautiful tourism sites. And that's why we've come up with campaigns. We are doing a lot of campaigns on social media. As a team, we have been touring different sites and doing short videos and posting them on social media, particularly on our county fora, so that people, our county people, can see what it is in the county. Places like Ndengenjero with the beautiful waterfalls, places like Amdunda with the wildest swing in Africa, places like Mwende National Game Reserve, the Riakanau, Kenara Beach, and all these places. So for the first time, some of the county members are hearing about some of these tourism sites. For the first time, we are also speaking to them in local language. We are speaking to them in the language that speaks to the last person in the county. We have our talent center, our talent academy. and we are doing lots and lots of things there. The spoken word. That spoken word that we have been training youth on is not necessarily in English. You can do spoken word in Embu, in Kimbere, in Kikamba. We're encouraging music and music in local language. I think it is about time that we focus on the youth who are proficient in local languages, because those are the youth that will carry that mantle even to the next generation. But as soon as we have that segmentation, that discordance between the older people and the youth, then the feeling that speaking in local language is not civilized, it's not chic, it's not smart. It is a misconception. And I think going forward, encouraging youth to learn diverse language. They have more space to interact with other communities, with youth from other communities. And so, for instance, if you're a resident of Embu, you have the blessing of being able to interact with the Kamba, the Kikuyu, the Mbere, the Embu on a daily basis. So take advantage of that space that you have and learn as many languages as you can. Number two, as a nation, under the Constitution, there's a provision for the government to promote indigenous languages. There is no culture without language. And so we promote indigenous languages. In so doing, we're promoting indigenous cultures. And therefore, we shouldn't feel like we are offside when we talk about local languages. I am a writer for local language. I write for course books for children in my local language. But I speak good Kiembu, and I speak good Kikuyu. I speak good Kimbere. That does not make me not speak good English. I believe I also speak good English. And therefore, my word and my encouragement to the youth, to the ones with more space, they have a bigger latitude to learn than the older persons, than the older generation. And so I would encourage them to learn. When it comes to culture also, we have all these other issue of cultural values. What really are our cultural values? I would not say that Embu is any better off than any other county, because a big chunk of the cultural values have been mystified in modernity. And the youth want to have their own culture, which is still not specified. I hear people saying the youth have their own culture. Yet to understand what specific is the youth culture, but I would encourage them, even as they come up, as they work on their own culture, because it looks like it's inevitable. They have their own language that some of us, the older persons, don't understand, which is a good thing, because we are growing forward, not backward. But then can they integrate the good values, the things that are positive from the culture? A lot of our youth, I was talking to some of them this morning, a group from Mbeere North, and they said they wanted to do community mobilization for tree planting, and they wanted my guidance on that, and I said fantastic, because climate change is a big issue. And so as we come up with a new culture, let us also look at what are the issues that are paining us, what are our pain points as a country, as a county, like issues of desertification, issues of disease, cancer, whatever. All these, they are catching up with us because we have killed the culture of eating well. And so Embu County has its own cultures around food. We have our own Mwere, Kimere, Irio, whatever, but which the younger people now feel like is not civilized to eat this kind of food. So we have run to foods that do not help us. They don't help our health. And that is why looking into the future, unless the youth change their culture, change the culture, unless they integrate the good culture into their culture, then there will be a huge challenge on health for the youth. And I dare say that if we were to do a survey on youth health, I think our youth are doing very badly on health. And it all has to do with the culture. When we don't copy the culture of eating well, we don't copy the culture of respect, we don't copy the culture of working, And many of them want to spend the day lying down. And, if you lie down for 9 hours every day, definitely your blood flow will be affected. If you lie down for a week, because I've seen some of them want to eat even from bed. They want to drink from bed. You are not created lying down. You only lie down in the stomach, in the womb, and then thereafter it's about walking and working. And so this is something I really want to challenge our youth on. On culture, again, the culture of drug abuse, which seems to also be infiltrating the youth. It is definitely not a good culture. Embu is one of the places where we have Mogoka. Mogoka is a plant, and it is said to have certain effects. Of course, everything good or bad, when it is overconsumed, when it is overutilized, it will have effects. And so I'd like to encourage our youth to be conscious of their health and to adopt lifestyles that make sense, lifestyles that will give them longevity, lifestyles that will give them a long lifespan, other than, I keep saying our youth want to live their future now, and that is not right. Don't live your future now, your future is coming. One of the things that we have done is to mobilize the communities it's our fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. We have tried very hard as a county, and I believe our statistics on COVID-19 are very low compared to other counties. And it is because we have arisen and we have mobilized our people, and we have tried to educate up to the last person on prevention and response to COVID-19. In as far as business is concerned, Embu County has been very keen to support business, and we have supported our business people, business community, by providing even the requisite resources for preventing infection of COVID-19. Right before this interview, I had a meeting with the market traders here at Embu County, and we were just discussing on, now that we have been told that the cases are escalating, what do we need to do? And we have agreed on a couple of things, and one of them is no mask, no sale, no mask, no business. And we have also agreed on a slogan called COVID-19 is also my business, meaning that as a business person, I will do everything possible to make sure that my client is not infected and that I am not infected. And I think that way we are able to prevent infection or spread of COVID-19.